Ah, I closed this. Very well. Holy, shut up! Tradition. Okay. Now let's show. Yeah, I have a kind of a lot of stuff to. So the first place where we stop is over here. Let me see. Let me see. What? What? Yeah. Anyways. This. I think I should go for writing anything, I guess. Let me see. Alright, I guess. This point. Yeah, I will guess. So we have this also. Well, I can just in case check out you now instead of later on. Also, wait, are we lying? I didn't see that. Yeah, a little bit. So, just in case, let me close this. Let me. Yeah, let me hear myself. I want to do that. How is this? Okay, yeah, we're fine. Next step should be. Okay. Over here, I guess. And let me. Okay, I guess we should start to lag a little bit now that the PC is running harder now. Yeah, a little bit more. Anyways, I guess. Link. I should put it over here. I should have this over here. Apply. I think I shouldn't be forgetting anything aside from that, I guess. So with that I can close this also. And yeah, I might better try to do my part, let's say. So let me copy this and also this. PC, don't die, please, wait. Catch up a little bit. Okay, we're not so laggy so far. I guess. But what else? I think I shouldn't be forgetting, or I shouldn't be doing really that much more, I guess, no? I think I can say it. I don't have an image. I haven't thought that I don't have an image. Let me. Okay, I think I will do it like this. Okay, screenshot like this. Okay, this is the image. Send, yeah. And also I need to add a second page to this, I guess. And with this, we're done, no? I guess, yeah. Okay, how much did it take me? Like, less than 10 minutes. Less than almost 9. No, well, like, yeah, not that, not so tiny yet, not so much at the same time, I guess. But anyways, yeah, I don't know, kind of crazy as always. Let me close this, and also, yeah, we have audio, you know. I already checked, I think, but just in case, let me do a second run of this. How are we now? Are we good? Yeah. We're fine with that, so I can close this. Okay. And with this, also we're on ads, haha. With that close, I think we can properly, yeah. We have to test and see if Krita can run, so let me start opening it. But, well, I mean, very nice. It took me like a whole minute to set up the timer, what? I didn't notice that also. But, well, anyways, here we are. Very nice, I think. I will say. I will pretend. I will think about. I don't really know. Yeah, kind of crazy. It seems these past few days I have been kind of slacking, I would say. I would not even try to argue about that. I mean, yes, certainly I have my my proper job to do, think that I am obviously not simply committing, but rather not really finding myself able to do, I will kind of argue. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't need to sound so negative, so let's simply say trying to do the best that is possible as always. But anyways, here we are. So, I might simply swap now instead of waiting even more. I think, no? Okay, the gate is slowly opening, so meanwhile, let me also do my part. I think I am a little bit tinier than what I would have liked, so okay, there it is. Here I am. Hello everybody. Hello. Well, once again on this beautiful place. It has been kind of a long time since the last occasion that we find ourselves here. I think, no? Because yesterday I kind of, yeah, I wouldn't say I kind of slacked, therefore I didn't really stream as much as I would have liked to do, but I don't know. I think sometimes stuff happens, so here we are, now at the very least, going to enjoy what is going to come out of this, and going to do our best to experience it as much as we can. At the end of the day, all of these opportunities is what makes it work, no? And what makes it also something that we can keep trying to do. So yeah, here we are. Here we find ourselves. Here we, as I said, keep doing what we like, what we want, and well, very, very nice. I will argue. I will, yeah, be very, as always, very awesome to see that we can keep in all of this world. Although there are so many things going on, and even when so many possibilities are in front of us, we still come back to this place. So that is basically one of the most beautiful things to see. Although we might want to find the excuses to not do so, although we might wish to not really be here, sometimes we still know that it is kind of our responsibility to still occupy this place. So yeah, very, very fine. I wouldn't try to even say that it isn't, when in reality, yeah, we can pretty much enjoy all of this. So, as always, hello everybody. I think I need to say it. Hello. Welcome everybody. Welcome another beautiful night to this our place. Welcome bot watchers, lurkers, everybody. I think, yeah, it has been, as I said before, kind of a long time and kind of a wild time lately. There have been some changes, so yeah, still trying to adjust to them. So yeah, I think we shouldn't be that much surprised, no? We have in front of us like some good hours to spend on all of this. So I will not pretend what I will expect for all of these things to go very well. I will try to say. So yeah, with that, I might not really have that much more to add. So we might as well simply commence, no? I argue. So let me see. I think it is this one. And are you capturing Greta? Let me see. Okay, yeah. I didn't thought about it. I just now realized that in reality I could try to make the whole canvas tinier. In reality, even more taking into consideration that I don't really have a need for all of this to be so big. I can kind of make it tinier, no? I mean, there is no real reason for me to not make it a little bit tinier. Let me see. Is this width and all of that? Yeah, I don't think it is that bad, I will guess. So, wait, because I need to, no, I needed to resize every fucking thing over here. This is amazing. This is the content that we like the most. The one that is completely scuffed. Let me see. Okay, there it is. Also, alerts a little bit bigger. And also this over here. I guess, no? I will try to guess. I think over there. Just in case, let's not make it so big. And well, with that, should be good to go. Give me a second. Okay, there it is. Transition, and okay, here we are. Yeah, I think I shouldn't be forgetting anything, just in case. So, as I said before, with that, we might as well simply start. Let me close this because, as I said, I was simply testing, wanting to see if the difference in sizes was going to impact on the PC, and I guess yeah, to a certain extent, it should be a little bit, a little less heavy, sorry, on my PC. But I don't know. I might have never really thought about it before. So yeah. But anyways, here we are. Wait. Here. I need to make this, as always, a little bit bigger. And well, I really haven't thought that much about what is going to be of us today, what is going to kind of become of our future. So we are kind of simply existing a little bit. Hello Klondike, welcome. Also, now that you have talked, let me see. Yeah, the chat is a little bit. I think it is well. I mean, it seems kind of out there, but at the same time, it is fine, I guess. So, hello. I hope you are doing well. I hope you are doing fine and well. Here we are, simply going to on another occasion just chatting as always. So yeah, last time I think yeah, what we could do is basically more than anything else start with the proper steps of saying what happened on our last session of just chatting, no? Because basically it was very short and very simple. I mean, yeah, I didn't notice that I spent like an hour and a half or something like that, but what we did is sorry, a lot of analyzing about the direction, about the new ideas and all of that. So now, as I am trying to say here, yeah, I mean, a little bit of recap, because I don't really have that much to add to that, so I might as well simply make it once again short. And yeah, I don't know, I don't know, I really don't know sometimes, but the shortened or the most short version that I can try to make out is okay, I think talk about direction, yeah. Then I mean, certainly, as I said, it was kind of an hour and a half, I think, kind of long. I didn't realize that it took me so much to display my whole idea. So in that sense, yeah, kind of surprising that it can be so easily, yeah, I mean, compressed. I knew that it was wrong. About the past. Yes, I mean, although, as I said, it seems kind of long, what we first did was talk about the past. After that, we ended up moving towards, oh my god, oh my fucking god, I love my lines so much. But yeah, after talking about it, the first thing, we ended up moving a little bit into where we were with all of our projects, with the potato objectives and all of that. And I mean, now we can kind of see or think a little bit about maybe what is going to become of us in the future, no? Because that was kind of the final part, yes. That whole discussion basically about what was going to be the next objectives and all of that. I mean, certainly it doesn't really feel that much heavy, nor that much intensive, but sometimes to simply try and organize what you are doing is kind of complex by itself. I will guess, mostly because as always, when we don't even stop to think about what we're doing and all of that, it ends up becoming harder. But I mean, it is anyways still enjoyable. So yeah, I don't know. Um, mm, 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 mm. What? Oh my god, my mouse is already dead. I can't use the mouse itself. I have to use the trackpad, but the click itself is also dying. I love it, everything. Um, yeah, I think the easiest struggle that I have right now is to write with this thing. But at the very least, my quote unquote handwriting became a little bit better. Compared to the first times, I will guess, no? I haven't checked. Yeah, on that I will sadly have to accept that I don't have that much of a tendency towards checking anything. But I mean, I know based on my own memory that these letters are more legible than what I created before and what I did at any other point in time. But yeah, I mean, aside from that, um, finally, well, no, I mean, yeah, let me also put the last part just in case. Um, mm, I think it was like this. Uh huh. No, what's oh ah. Mm, yeah, I mean, I I think at the end of the day, the main objective that is to think about not to think, sorry, to see them and to be capable of understanding what says is very well accomplished. So I wouldn't complain as much as if they really were impossible to read. So yeah, yeah. In that sense, very better than what I would have expected. Compared to, I mean, it was like how much 1 month or so only of a quote-unquote practice. So very nice to see that it ended up giving its fruits in such short amount of time. And even more, I mean, I was to a certain extent focused on practicing at some points, but in reality, I might have really outside of stream practice like 5 hours or so because um, I yeah yeah. Being real, sadly, I am not somebody who really finds I wouldn't simply say drive, more like initiative towards stuff that really has no necessity whatsoever. Because in this case, I also accept that, for example, even if I were capable of typing better, sorry, um, and yeah, writing better, that is what I wanted to say. Um, when you can do it, you can also let people understand more. But at the same time, it isn't as if we didn't have all of these tools to hear and to overall be capable of watching or, yeah, as always, being present here and hearing also, yeah, taking the audio input, not only the visual. I mean, not simply most, almost nobody will really think that this is a place where you can come and watch Muta. There isn't that many things going on screen, and most of the ideas sadly get very lost in the way if you really were to believe that I present them properly. In that sense, I never thought about it. Yeah, yeah, I never, I never really thought about it, but it is kind of true that there might be a kind of lack of more visual stuff. I guess. I don't know. But I mean, everybody does what they want. And I never thought about making presentations more properly, but that is also one of my possibly new objectives, taking into consideration that we are going to slow down a little bit with the pace of streams and all of that, so putting a little bit more of effort behind them is never bad. But anyways, the whole thing that I had to say and the whole stuff that we have to talk about is what ended up happening on the last just chatting stream. That is simply what is kind of on screen, no? What was so far the adventure? Where is it that we are standing, and where is it that we are going with all of this? And clearly also kind of the future and what is going to happen, no? So in that sense, it was very, as I said, it felt pretty short. I didn't notice that we spent hours talking about it, but I will say, even if it feels digestible, it might as well have some sides to it that are kind of hard to simply, to fully intake, as it obviously as always. And yeah, even more in that one, there are some triggers, like for example, immersion being broken and all of that. But although, yeah, kind of coincidentally, immersion itself is almost never mentioned here because it is kind of easy when potato exists, you know. So yeah, very, very, very fine. But well, aside from that, what is it that we are going with this now? Is kind of the question, no? Because it was kind of already a week, I think, since the last, since that particular last stream. I think, at least in my mind, it feels like a week. So let me drink water because I'm kind of dying. I think, I don't know. Yeah, I think I kind of a tiny note. Tomorrow I am going to take a break. Not a break as in, oh no, I am so sick, but simply we're going to do some other stuff. So yeah, I have to take a break, more properly to say. But yeah, it seems kind of crazy to me at the very least that my throat always is constantly between the state of working and after I think 1 week or so of simply talking, it goes to the worst state that it can. And I end up really feeling as if I am going to lose my voice. Although it never really happened. Although it never really reached a point where I was literally no more capable of talking. But anyways, as I said before, and as I was trying to talk about, it has already been a week. I haven't done one of my main jobs, that is to create something on Twitter. I talk about it. It has been almost a whole month, I think, since I started with that idea of creating a thread, creating something to clarify more information and all of that. So certainly some goals are going towards. I have already found some resources to utilize and some stuff to properly keep using or try to use at the very least for the sake of the completion of all of those ideas. And certainly trying to not make it so personal. It always is crazy to notice how much different ways are there to achieve the same goal, I will say. And certainly it feels kind of encouraging to always notice also not only how many ways there are, but also how much information is at the disposal of those who are willing to search for it, let's say. And it always, that same idea, feels incredibly good to have the possibility of learning from people who also is on the same path or did the same things, and obviously even more, know a lot more than whoever it is that we are ourselves. So yeah, in that sense, we are moving forward. We have already accomplished some things also. We have already tried to upgrade the stream quality. And at least for now, I haven't checked, I kind of forgot. Yeah, at least for now, we aren't lying. We are using, obviously, a better stream quality. also, and we aren't so far having problems. And well, aside from that, I don't think there is that much more to say about, at the very least, all of these things. I will think. We are so far doing very great, and I don't know. I I Today particularly, I will certainly say that it was more of a simply just chatting stream. What I had in mind, because certainly sometimes it feels kind of crazy. Yeah, let me see. It happens that we lose kind of the ability to extract ourselves from what is going around life and what is overall the reality in which we live. So sometimes, at least the potato ends up having a hard time really finding ideas and really finding not only ideas, because in reality it is kind of the most overflowing thing, but rather the proper desire to do things. And yeah, I will have believed that at this point I will have the discipline to find it and to do it properly. But I guess certainly sometimes, although we think that we are doing good, it is in those moments that we can realize certainly not, and not even remotely close to how good we could be doing if we really were to put all of our mind towards the pursuit of those goals we will be doing. But yeah, I mean, at the very least, here we are. No? So, as always, with that said, I think we can try to advance. Wait, I am forgetting something. I think, yeah, shouldn't be forgetting almost anything about this. What was the last just chatting stream, no? Let me give me a second because I want to think about it properly. Yeah, I mean, certainly, yeah. I have, on that same side, as I said before, I try to not make it so personal, but yeah, I have already acquired the proper tools to do what I wanted. I have also learned about some other new concepts that end up being pretty useful. I wouldn't even have guessed that things were like that to a certain extent. So yeah, now we are kind of not simply happy, but rather going to do better than before. Because we have so many tools for the sake of aiding ourselves with all of this. So yeah, um, with this, yeah, I think we can properly, as I say, also as I try to say, move into something different. So let me try to create a new canvas. And well, I mean, I don't know. As always, pretty crazy to see sometimes how much it is that we end up. Mhm. To be fair, you have also spent over 200 days talking about a bunch of deep ideas. It might only be natural that you had sort of run of run out of topics. Yeah, certainly. Kind of unavoidable, I would say. But the problem is more like, okay, let me. I think we might as well take it over. Yeah, we can take it on this one, on this new canvas. Let me say it like this. Uh, I think the garage is also kind of big. No, it is only a 10. What? Anyways, um, how do I say it? Okay. Um, yeah, organizing. Let's say. Yeah, it is. It is written like that. No, let me. I will just in case check, but I think it is written like that. No. Um, Organizing. Yeah, nice. So, I almost closed my browser. Nice play. Mm, So wait. I kind of forgot to check. Are we lagging? Okay, we were a tiny bit lagging. Not that much supposedly. Energy. And also things themselves, no? Okay, there it is, no? To properly answer your question, or not your question, kind of your point, is certainly I find that it is true to an extent. Unavoidably, I end up being kind of tired because as everybody who does something for long enough periods of time, you're going to end up tired because of the repetition and all of those things. But at the same time, in this particular case, we're kind of dealing with the prospect of having to organize all of the ideas and having to properly put, let's say, a plan to take them up front and to be capable of facing them on stream, no? So, if in the case of somebody trying to learn anything, we don't really notice that there are different factors to take into consideration, and I think it is kind of proper. How I try to say it here? The first one being always time, because at the end of the day, to be organized, you need to spend time out of your day, and you need to organize your own time first and foremost to spend it properly, putting all of the things together. But you also need to have the second most important thing, the energy itself. And I wouldn't even try to lie. It is very noticeable that I am not the most energetic guy out there, no? So it ends up being that at first, the time and the energy are the most constraining things. Because most of the time, although it sounds kind of crazy to have to also notice that there are things that need to be organized and that you need to know which things those are, because you already have a notion that you want to organize them. In this particular case, you are not dealing that much with those particular problems arising from the fact that personally the potato doesn't really know where to go about the things that he has in his hands. But yeah, kind of the opposite. He has things on his hand. The problem is he doesn't really know where to move forward, let's say. And it happens that in this kind of correlation, you always have, if you desire to know more about how to properly deal and how to properly organize and how to properly schedule all of the things that pertain to your own reality, you end up needing to sacrifice a little bit of time for the sake of pursuing that particular knowledge that you want to have. But if you also do that, unavoidably, in the way, you're also going to spend your energy. So, in the way of all of those things, and I mean, it sounds, yeah, I make it sound so much easier than what it really is. At the end of the day, not only is it that we have personally kind of the responsibility to try and face things and to organize them, because at the end of the day, yeah, this idea leaves behind the concept that if there were to be no real order behind what is it that we are doing, in reality we're going to be an even bigger mess than where we are standing right now. But in this case, kind of the problem is, you know, we already have what we want, and we know at the very least that we should make those things organized. But because all of these things, sorry, that we are dealing with are always so new, and because we want to properly deal with them more than anything else, because kind of the consequences of the knowledge about the consequences that come from not really being organized, at the very least, bring the capacity to learn and to have the proper interest in being organized itself. Because at the end of the day, if you don't really even believe that there is a necessity towards being organized, you wouldn't even spend your time doing so. But to learn about all of those things, as I said before, we simply go back to this concept, quote-unquote concept, these lines over here. That is, if you want to be organized, you first need to have that knowledge. And after having the knowledge, you need to spend your energy and your time towards organizing those things. So in this case, we're kind of dealing with the reality itself, I will say, of on a personal level, the potato isn't really somebody who has a lot of energy. And the first thing that needs to be kind of clear is, on an even deeper level, you should be capable of organizing first and foremost your own time. And if you can't really organize that in any way, then it is that the rest of the order that you try to put on your life is kind of always a mess, you know? So, sadly, I am not even going to say, no. I am very great at that. I think I kind of repeat it a lot of times over here on stream. And also, before continuing, because I think I am not going to stop now. Hello, Masbro. Sorry for not saying anything. What happens, and what I know that I tend to do, is to talk about the sad tendency that I have to not properly track time. And because, as I said before, on a personal level, the potato doesn't really have those capacities inside of him, it is that we end up seeing also the consequences of the energies that we have also end up being spent on things that don't really need to be paid attention, let's say. So, in this case, yeah, it is true that to a certain extent the repetition itself is what ends up tiring us the most, but if the repetition were to be organized properly, I will say, even if it is incredibly repetitive, think that here isn't even like that, because you also have I don't talk about this perspective. I don't see the point in doing so, but it is kind of incredibly true that I very much enjoy talking and doing what we're doing here, you know? No. I mean, the problem is also yes, obviously, there is still an incredibly big amount of stuff that we still have to talk about, and not only those that I have already deciphered, because let me. I will try to show it to you. Okay, let me try to search for that. I have I never try to. I don't have the proper capacities of explaining myself sometimes, or what are the things that I do personally, but it is very much true that yes, there is a lot of things going around and things that I am trying to do also. On one of those things is on the sense of different topics that I want to talk about. Certainly that I have a very well designed, not well designed, a very well filled list of different stuff, and that is what I am trying to search now, because all of those things are constantly, more than anything else, the different ideas that I end up wanting to talk about at some point or another. So let me, how do I share this? Okay, copy. Yeah, copy. There it is. Copy link. Now, let me. Here we are. Let me paste it over here. Give me a second. Technology. What a big advancement. Okay, there it is. There. Although I don't really talk that much about it, there are some stuff that I have always going on, and I try to always have already well-defined topics, because that list what represents is the different ideas that we're going to talk about at some point or another on stream. So in that particular case here, I try to abark all of those things that are more personal. We have the things, and certainly on a personal level, I have the time. I will try to say, but as I say, also, I don't really find myself to be one of the most energetic people, nor also I properly hold the knowledge about how to do it. So, sadly, going back to it itself. That is also what I forgot to kind of add before, that before really going into anything else, you first and foremost need to properly, or at the very least, try to develop a sense of what is the time that you have in your hands. And personally, that is what I forgot to mention before. I tend to very much mention constantly here that I am not somebody really capable of handling my time. I mean, a very good example is today I was thinking it was already Friday, when in reality it is only Tuesday. No, Tuesday? It is, I think it is Thursday, no? Yeah. And not only that, I was also thinking that this was going to be the last week of February, when in reality we still have 2 more weeks to go. And no, how much? We have 1 or we have 2? I think we have 1, no? Only 1? How much time do we have? Okay, we have 2. So yeah, personally, I try to not make it so incredibly personal, but yeah, to properly answer your question, sorry, I have to acknowledge that certainly many of the things that I try to talk about here don't apply to me. I don't have a proper time management capacity. I tend to, because of that, sadly, time is most of the times the most important thing to know how to handle. And I can properly say at the very least on my case that because I don't have that particular capacity, I end up not really being capable of also finding time itself to kind of have the energy that one should always strive to find inside of themselves, you know? So because of that, I end up making another thing be unequal and be incredibly worse than what it could really be. So because of that also, it is that when you lack energy and when you lack on a more properly explained manner, not only energy but also the capacity to be awake, the capacity to have a ease of mind and the capacity to pay attention to the things that are happening in your surroundings. Therefore, also because your surroundings are not only composed, let's say, of what you are going to face, but also what is already known to you. Because I lack that particular energy, I also end up slacking and seeing sometimes less or with, at the very least, a worse capacity the different things that are in front of me that I need to organize, let's say. So yeah, all of those things are what end up creating this kind of connection, of how it is that, at least personally, I certainly fail to properly organize myself. I will not even try to lie, yeah. I truly, I always struggle with that, and I hope at some point I can get better at it, I will say. I mean, I never thought about it. Certainly, it is one of the worst things that I deal with, and there is an incredibly big amount of media out there about it, so maybe we could try to do something like that, maybe. But also, yeah. Okay, let me think how to answer it properly. Because yeah, I read what you say. Time is certainly an ethereal substance. It slips out of our grasp so easily. I think I can try to integrate what you say over here, no? Yeah. It is true that yes, time is something, at the very least, for somebody who has never really paid attention to it, hard to grasp. But the more you end up learning, the more it becomes a solid concept that you can, in different ways, illustrate, not for the sake of others, but for the sake of your proper knowledge and for the sake of your proper, in this case, management of it. Because at the end of the day, it isn't, I mean, you could live without cars to a certain extent, no? But you don't have a necessity to know about them because of that reason. In this case, we are bound by time. If you were to discard the necessity that exists over you and kind of the change that end up putting into you the existence itself of time, you end up believing or kind of misguiding yourself towards the idea that time is so incredibly complex that there is no way in which you could in any way whatsoever properly handle it. When most of the time, what happens, funnily enough, with time, obviously, is the different things that we do are around it, and around the concept itself of time. We are on a bigger scale, before putting anything over here, we are, let me say it like this. Kind of, at the very least, when you don't have that much knowledge about it, what the average person does is pursue it what is, at first, the capacity of having in their hands what, at the very least, now we call money. When you have money, you believe that money ends up giving you happiness, and when you have happiness, you end up believing that you now can control in a different way time. And because you also notice, because all of these things end up running out, because you notice that the amount of money that you hold ends up also being at risk, you go back into an infinite cycle, as long as you're alive, of pursuing the next thing after the other. In that case, be it happiness, be it time, or be it money. And if you are not capable in this particular case, we are talking only about time. If you don't have the capacity of finding how to manage all of the things that come with a proper management of it, you end up believing that life can only be constrained to these three particular things, when in reality, you could, to a certain extent, obviously, always what I say doesn't really hold any real value. There is people who explain it better than me, but if all of these things were to be valued differently, you will see that there is not only time that you have to worry about, there is not only happiness, nor there is only money. But when you develop the capacity of doing it, you expand the horizon of your knowledge, and you also develop inside of your mind itself what ends up becoming a more ground-based extension of reality that exists not only out there, but also that can exist inside of you for the sake of, more than anything else, helping yourself live. Because, yeah, at least nowadays, maybe I wouldn't completely disregard it in the sense of you can in no way whatsoever live without it, but the importance that both time and money have inside of our societies is incredibly big. Therefore, you can't say that you can't live without time or you can't live without money. You can kind of try to argue that maybe there is a way to live without happiness. I will try to not completely say that it isn't possible, but in our actual societies, you need at the very least time and money. So, if you can, in this case, find one of the things that you can by all means comprehend and put properly inside of your head into something that you can utilize at your advantage, at your own happiness, and at the non-expense of yourself, because in reality, more in this case, knowledge itself is time that you end up kind of robbing out of your future self for the sake of not having also that future self to deal with those same problems in a manner in which you are not going to be capable of finding those solutions, let's say. So, now, trying to say what I was trying to finish over here, yeah, this is the same as this. When you can find why is it important for you to properly hold and to properly have a comprehension about time, it is that you can use it in a way in which you see it as something favorable, and you see it as something also that gives you a certain purpose, or at the very least gives you a certain understanding about, in more than anything else, as always, how much time you have left to do the different things that end up being born also out of your wish to be alive. Because to a certain extent you could try to preoccupy yourself only with time, yes, but it is always better to find other different stuff to worry in life than to simply time, I will argue. But in be it whatever the reason that you personally have, now this is what I wanted to say. Uh, I could try to explain even more because it certainly has an incredibly big amount of stuff to be explained all the time. But on a very short response is when you have the capacity and when you find the knowledge about how to manage time, it is in that moment that you end up being capable of handling your own existence and making it less constrained and less by by consequence less painful to a certain extent. Because when you have inside of you the knowledge about what are the different things that end up driving you and end up not leading you towards the results that you want, it is also that you can properly see and you can properly hold in your hands the different knowledge that is being born from the most desired thing itself, that is knowledge, that is what ends up existing and not what is a question simply. But yeah, I don't know. I think that is kind of, as I said before, a kind of short response. It can be even further developed itself, but with that, I think we are kind of, at the very least, not so lost on this idea. Um, maybe I am going to develop this a little bit more, maybe not, because I also have this over here that I didn't fully say, but yeah. First is, sadly enough, so yeah, this is the first one of its kind today. Let me try to do that. Okay. Yeah. Wait. What is it? Where is it? Here. Okay. Here. As I said, we are going to take an idle break of around 2 minutes, I guess. Peace, brothers. I am going to be Okay. Boom, boom, boom. I am back. Let me see. I think I need to move this a little bit over here. So with this, we're back. Okay. I think I might as well simply keep going with this because it isn't completely explained. So, let me go back to this. We simply were aware the concept itself, of trying to see where is it that knowing about time, you end up finding yourself being capable of handling the rest of things. But yeah, I kind of didn't talk about this because, as I said, I wanted to make it short, and also I had to leave. I had to take my idle break. So now let me properly explain what it means, because certainly I didn't properly comprehend what is the idea behind how it is that knowing about your limitations gives you more capacity of doing stuff. But certainly it is very easy to see, I will say, when you have it in front of you properly displayed. That is, okay, there's this. As I said before, although it might seem contradictory, when you have the capacity and when you find even more the desire inside of you to know what is the different things that bound you to, in this case, I guess, reality, it is in that moment that you end up developing inside of you also the knowledge about where are the limits and where is the real amount of an impossible thing that lets you not do the different things that you wish to do inside of those boundaries that, as I said before, bound you and end up constraining you. Because even if by simple imagination we were to think that our world is so easy to dispel and so incredibly simple to analyze, when you find that most of the concepts are almost or directly almost impossible to really find by yourselves, because they have been really thought by other people before and they have been really explained by not one but obviously a whole collection of efforts towards making them as clear as possible, in this case time itself. When you see that knowing about time, something that has been studied and is still being studied nowadays, from those who have really been capable of explaining the different concepts, the different limitations, and the different ways in which also you yourself find mm, your existence limited or even more increased by it. It is that now you can do and wish and play as much as you can. Because if you were to believe that time is impending, yeah, time is always calling an impending doom upon you, and that you are at any point in time probably going to die, although to a certain extent that is true, when you don't realize that even if on one side it holds a little bit of reality, on the other, sadly, your whole existence isn't really limited to the rest of the world and isn't really diminished by the efforts that you realize towards anything. It needs to be certainly limited, and to a certain extent we have kind of that security, but most of our efforts that we can put and most of the things that we can realize in our lives end up being more than what some others can really expect, because you have a proper understanding about what you can and what you can't, and you are managing, going back to this idea, you end up being capable of managing and organizing yourself and putting your efforts toward different things that you wish, and also to seeing what is it that you want to do, and also what are the things that move you towards your objectives and all of that, But I think that is kind of the explanation, no? Unless I'm kind of missing something. I think that I tried to not do. But yeah, basically that. Time itself seems to be hard to comprehend, but on the other hand, when we put our efforts towards that, it is that more other things in life also start making sense. And if we were to believe that by not knowing about it, we are going to be less affected by its passage, you're going probably more, unless you can somehow really live such a simple life, in the modern world, you are going to find yourself dealing with the consequences of your actions later on, because you are deciding to live in a reality in which the rest of the world isn't even close to living. So, unless you can convince other people, and to a certain extent, unless you can convince the whole world that your view on time is the correct one, the things that are already facts and the knowledge that is already well known might as well end up driving you towards needing to know it and needing to be capable of handling it yourself, instead of thinking that, yeah, what is your viewpoint is the correct one, because the whole rest of the world is living on it, and that will happen later on. So you will sadly only spend your time believing that by not worrying it is that you are going to live more easily. But also, that is the point on the whole idea of worrying, to properly worry instead of over worrying and worrying unnecessarily about things that are never going to happen, and all of those ideas. So yeah, I don't know. I think that is kind of the explanation with what started being simply the capacity for organizing oneself, and what ended up being also the time. What ended up being the whole concept of time inside, nested inside of the idea of being capable of finding organization in our lives. So yeah, I think that is that, no? I will guess I don't have. Let me see. Okay, yeah. Certainly, I can do. I can also try to explain this because I thought about it and I forgot over here. Um, What? That is not so wise, right? Okay, very sure of this. Yes, yes. Because going into this whole idea of sometimes in our society is if you don't have the proper knowledge about what there really is time and how bound by it you are, you end up, yeah, kind of what I forgot to talk about before. You end up being not only bound by it, but also by money, because to a certain extent, one of the few ideas that exist in the world is with money you can buy somehow more time, or you can spend it to utilize less of your already being use time on different stuff that you might as well not want to do. Because, for example, although everybody has the capacity of building a car, some way or another, most of the people, yeah, 99.99999% of the people don't even want to build a car because you have the possibility rather to build one. And to create one is really to utilize your time towards a different focus. So money is, in that sense, a shortcut, quote unquote, of time. But it also ends up driving you towards the idea of not only you need time and you need money, but also you need to be happy. So you end up living, as I said, yes, on that loop. But when you have the capacity of knowing on this whole part of this, when you can know all of the limits and all of the parts and all of the knowledge that is itself already existent on this world about what is time, it is that you can also have knowledge not only about time itself as a whole concept, a whole encompassing concept, but also that you can more properly see the different things that exist out there and the different details and parts that make time be what is it here. Because not only you have okay, a very short example is not only you have time itself, you have a starting point, what is going on right now and what is going to happen in the future. You have, in that same sense, the past, the present and the future, yes. So when you know all those things, it is that you can also properly act on a more knowing basis, because you know that your life is going to reach an end point. And because you know that, you might as well want to make it be as enjoyable as it can until that point is reached, or you can decide to work on different stuff that might as well try to prolong your life for as many days and as many hours as it can, whatever it is also. And simply knowing is what ends up, in that case, giving you the sense about what you can really do inside of that whole constricting reality that makes you be who you are. Because if you were to believe that there is no end towards your existence, one of the very good arguments towards immortality, to a certain extent, you're going to find that you really don't have any real purpose to try anything, because if your existence is unlimited, what is the real point behind trying anything at all if you're going to still keep existing? So by knowing, for example, that we have an endpoint in our life, most of the people have decided that their objective is going to be to give something to society, whatever way it is that they chose, and whichever idea it is that what it seems to be one of those big 2 of 3 scenarios. That is, unless you find a cheat code that makes it all irrelevant. I mean, certainly, yeah. But that is also kind of the funny concept about time, for example. Supposedly, if you are willing to spend your time on it, you're going to find people who promises concepts that are going to drive you towards revealing pathways to not spend so much of your existence doing whatever. And I could try to illustrate that, but it is a very short answer to this one, so I might not do so. You can, for example, find people who promises that if you follow their, I mean, very well. We're talking, we have been pretty much dealing with them so far. In the Hinduistic belief, there are different yogi ideas that talk about ways in which you can make time last longer if you're chanting different mantras, if you're deep in yoga, if you're in this or that condition. There are different cultures that try to promise that same idea. And you could try, for example, to find those cheat codes. Nowadays, for example, also, one of the few things that is talked about is, first and foremost, you need to know about the whole concept of being in the zone, and when you know that you are in the zone, or when you know about the zone, you also learn about one of the most correlated concepts, that is bullet time itself. When time becomes dilated because your perception about reality ends up dilating itself somehow, something that we can't even fully comprehend. Therefore, we can't even say if you can really live in mere seconds experiences that feel like hours and hours long, and you only not you only do not have that knowledge, but also you have, for example, on the way of people that talks about psychoactive substances as another way to control time and all of that differently. You also have those who try to say that maybe if you were to take enough of a doses of different type of drugs, basically, you are going to go through experiences that are what they felt like months and years, when in reality it is literally minutes. So there are different, supposedly, cheat codes out there. If you're willing to try your luck with them, you might as well find if they are really true or not, but there is no other way to know. So yeah, I think that is kind of a quote-unquote proper explanation about it. But I don't know, I think, yeah, I am not forgetting that much, I think. So yeah, basically that. No? I think, I don't know, maybe I failed to explain something. Maybe. So anyways, let me drink water, first and foremost. Okay. Um, yeah, I think that is kind of this whole idea. I guess so. Let me do the proper thing that I want to do with this. That is to try and take a screenshot because it seems like a good explanation. I mean, better than nothing. So, oh yeah, it doesn't really fit. Fuck. Anyways, something like this. Okay. Yeah, I ended up kind of going longer than what I expected, but the point was that whole screenshot that I sent, like at this point, how much? 45 minutes ago almost. That whole thing was created as something that I try to resource myself always when I am thinking about talking about stuff over here. And that is the preferential list that I have to about different topics. So yeah, that is everything. I think. Well, no, I mean that is the second page. I said. I think I didn't finish the tier one. I think. Let me check. I have to look over here. So no. I finished the second one only, and I am still working on the tier one. But at the same time, I'm not so worried because, for example, with that, I know that every single one of these concepts is at the very least about how much it was. About 20, 30, 50 minutes, depending on how much I really want to explain myself and how much I think I can extract from them. So yeah, in that whole sense, it is that certainly we have topics to talk about, and the problem is not the topics, the problem is, and yeah, the first and the only thing that I want to excuse myself out of is I don't really have a mouse now, so that is why I have such a hard time writing, and that is also one of the main reasons as to why I have been trying to avoid all of this stuff. But on the other hand, I certainly lack the proper skill, even if I had a mouse, to draw words and to draw obviously even more forms fast enough, because certainly I can't draw the whole alphabet fast enough. I mean, yeah, probably that is really one of the few consequences of lacking practice, but anyways, we have that is one of the other consequences of properly managing time. We have a lot of time to talk about anything, so yeah, that's that I think. But well, let me try to swap from here. File, new, yes, create. So well, I think with that, I certainly don't know. Do you have any particular suggestion, or do I have to pick? What do we want to talk about next? Because certainly, I think that was good. I guess certainly kind of good to try and provide what little bit I know about things to someone else. So yeah, if not, yeah, I will try to check. Yeah. Okay. No, wait. Before anything else, let me check. Are we not lying? Amazing, we're not lying. Anyways. Can I zoom? Okay. What I have been thinking about lately is, yeah, one of the main questions that I always have is how to motivate someone to do something, whatever kind of thing it is. On that kind of same line, not completely the same one, but kind of same line, I was now kind of finding myself interested in the whole idea personally, because yeah, Also, I don't really see or have that much of it inside of myself. Knowledge about the different ways in which somebody can try to keep kind of doing what becomes their desires, let's say. And certainly it gets kind of weird because one of the few weird things I will say is always we don't really talk about that much anymore. Or I don't mean anymore as if in some point or in time we did. Kind of the complete opposite. We don't talk about it enough. We never did. And there is not enough, even close to enough information about how to the so many different ways in which you can find not simply motivation, because it was even explained nowadays that it literally happens in your brain. Your brain decides to shut off itself and to not keep providing you enough chemicals to, in that sense, yeah, keep you motivated. But that is the weird thing, to not see different responses about how it is that somebody might keep doing what they are doing, I guess. But I don't know, I mean, it never is weird to not try and tackle those questions. So, okay. Ah, Also, I just remember it has nothing to do with this, but throughout this week I haven't studied. I have noticed that I haven't studied so far. So, I could have done that. ah, I forgot. Anyways, capacity, and also, I mean, one of the central pieces is always knowledge. Haha. I think sadly that is probably the word that I repeat the most. Ah man, I what there it is. Desire, capacity, knowledge, and what else? It isn't that simple to have motivation. And I think, yeah, to a certain extent, I think what lies behind it or what. Okay, let's say like this. That is, I think with that, we're kind of somewhere. That is, when you know, if you want to have proper motivation, you should start with obviously having a desire. Then it is that you face if your capacities are equal or at the very least capable of really guiding you or allowing you to achieve those desires. And obviously, if you hold the knowledge about how to properly mm, give or find ways to deal with that particular objective that you have set, let's say. And when it is that you combine the motivation, or from the motivation itself, the desire and the capacity, it is that you find yourself striving towards that. When you can properly also strive, it is that you also see you need from the same line that was born your strive being your capacities. When you also mix that with knowledge, it is that you take into account the necessity of you having a proper imagination, because in some cases you're in no way whatsoever going to observe the real results of what your efforts are being utilized on right now. Not because things aren't happening, but rather because, in this case, kind of, yeah, although it might sound critical, because time itself is also another constraint towards the achievement of our different goals. When you notice and when you can see that things are not moving as fast as you would want them to go, it is that in those instances you can also say, or at the very least try to argue, that your imagination itself is going to be another motivating factor towards the pursuit of your goals, because you need to keep imagining that these things are going to do good, and you need to also, on a deeper level, have the capacity to, in your mental field, deal with the problems that arise from striving towards anything. And I think kind of here is where the discipline itself is properly placed. I will argue, like, I don't know, it means it doesn't really seem to make sense to me, but something along the lines of, when you mix your strive with your imagination, it is that you can find yourself being disciplined, because it is that you know that your efforts are paying off. It is that you can also put into paper, kind of, or not into paper, into your mental world, the different things that you are wishing for, as they might become something that you can somehow achieve. Let's say, uh, what else? I think there is, I mean, there can't be only this. Okay, yeah. The external influence, that is, haha, what, that is one of the few things that I kind of forgot to talk about. And where does it play a role, my man? What? Where does this play a role? Uh, kind of good question, my man. Is it another completely different factor, like motivation is, or something like this, I guess? I will argue. I don't know. I don't believe it is that simple. But okay. Something like this, I think, kind of makes sense with what I was trying to say before. Because, um, I mean, certainly, but the problem is, or not the problem, the thing is, if your environment, as in whatever is outside of your existence, also being constituted by society itself, if your environment were to completely negate or even sanction you for going and trying to do the things that you believe are good for you, that lie behind your desire, if your environment were to not allow you to reach those goals, then uh, it plays a bigger, yeah, it ends up being something more important than what could simply be a society in which nobody really gives you attention. Although it also, I guess, if you, yeah, if you were not to be completely negated the possibility, but simply to be dismissed constantly by about what you wish, kind of what ends up giving you a possibility of knowing what is really, in a way, or in any particular way, a capacity that you can exert on reality itself, and obviously even more, the capacity that is created from your own efforts, being not given enough, kind of, not simply respect, but enough, what is the word? Enough validation, then might, at that point also it might be that uh, unless you have an incredibly big imagination, it is that you're going to kind of falter, because, yeah, if your desire is big enough, your motivation is going to kind of falter, because nobody is really seeing what you see, and unless your knowledge about your capacities and the strive itself and the discipline that you hold inside of you were to be so incredibly huge, and oh, yeah, I think kind of the explanation is the rest is kind of necessary, but and if your society doesn't really negate you, your desire, this can be kind of separated still, because your environment might give you a boost towards that, and your traditions is what also gives you the capacity of knowing that, for example, being disciplined is a good way to achieve your objectives and your goal and all of that. But you can also reach that same conclusion by your your own volition, let's say, and your own intelligence, as it is it kind of obvious that you can't achieve the goal of building a house in one day, let's say, for example. So if you set your goals clearly enough, you also know your limitations, and you also know that sometimes you might as well need to spend more time than what is really necessary. But that is the problem, because sometimes people talk as if motivation wasn't the same as discipline. If you, yeah, yeah. This is what I remember that I forgot to kind of mention before. Where I think it is kind of comprised on Strive, probably, or desire. Yeah, maybe, yeah, knowledge between between knowledge and desire. It is that you also find. Ah, okay, something like this. If, in the instance of you wishing something, you also gain the capacity of seeing what the consequences of not putting your efforts towards that goal and not letting your desire be born and be kind of put into reality, you learn about what the consequences are, and you end up kind of by default probably not being simply driven by fire, by fear, but you know what is the negative side of it, and you in that moment also become capable of seeing what is that you're negating in reality. And because you don't want that, it is that once again you gain another reason in this case mm, to keep doing everything else. I would say, because fear, yeah, fear is a very good motivator. Certainly, it is a very good motivator. So yeah, maybe kind of it is not only born from desire. It might as well be simply born from motivation itself. Yeah, I think it makes more sense like that, because sometimes you don't really. I mean, you have a desire to not be sanctioned, but you don't really know what is it that you are doing your job for. In some cases, you have a fear about being poor, when in reality you don't really see that your job is necessary to the world or whatever. So yeah, I don't know, kind of crazy, I will say. A kind of, as always, also beautiful to notice that the reality, at the end of the day, the more you wish for something, the more you also gain the capacity to find inside of yourself the same capacity itself of striving for that thing. But also, the more you wish for something else to not happen, it is that you can also keep doing the things that you are doing in this moment, let's say, or if it is needed, in the case of changing. Because also, I guess, yeah, to a certain extent, for example, in a proper example is, if you were to be somebody who is morbidly obese, although you have a love for food, when you learn about the consequences of not really having the possibility of staying alive or enjoying the food as you were doing before, it is also that you get the dread about not being capable of enjoying anymore what you liked. And because you, more than anything else, want to stay alive and want to keep enjoying what you were enjoying always, it is in that instance that you might as well try to arrange your life towards towards being capable of having as much as you can of that thing which you enjoyed the most before. Let's say, maybe, I don't know, I don't think it is simply like that, but it seems kind of a good pathway towards something, I will guess. Yes, no, I don't know, maybe yes, maybe not. Maybe I don't know, yeah. All I can say is I don't really know. But, well, I think that is kind of the whole. I mean, no, that isn't even close to being the whole thing, but that is what I can mention from the top of my head. There might be more stuff later on, and there might be obviously also more incredibly, more important also things than simply this. But so far, what I can properly observe is this, and what I can properly talk about is this. I guess yeah. If I were to think for a second, I might find something else, but I need a minute for that to happen. Yeah, the needing water. I mean, yeah, there is not that really much to say because in reality, you can, for example, encompass that because you have a good imagination, you can also have the capacity of explaining to others the social aspect, and because you can give to your society knowledge about what is it that you're deciding, it is that you can also find more motivating factors to keep going forward. Uh, I mean, it is more like a whole tree than rather than what I simply did here. Everything is in one way or another related, because if you don't have a proper desire, you can't really imagine how it is that you are going to achieve it. And even if you were to believe that your desire is good enough, as I said before, if your society were to negate it completely from you, you might as well start to not work for it or completely disregard your efforts toward that completion of that objective that you decided to set for yourself. And yeah, knowledge is kind of the same because you can see that fear is in, yeah, in that sense is related. You at the very least, even if you don't know the complete reality of the things that you're doing, at least you know what you don't want to happen. So it is for that you're working, I will say. But yeah, I think I don't know. Yeah, I think that is kind of the whole thing over here. I guess I will hope. I wouldn't say that much more. At the very least for now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess. I don't know. Um, yeah, kind of. Yeah, what I forgot to talk about was tradition. I put that over there because it was kind of logical to me. Tradition itself is what also gives you a capacity to know if what you're doing is, to a certain extent, proper enough or not. Because even if not every single time it happens that we believe in the traditions that are given to us, when society itself shows you that what you had been doing is also a desire that others have had in the past, or is a problem that others have been trying to solve, and that it is something positive and that it properly can be integrated into society in a deeper level. Yeah, if your desire were to be something big enough, it is in those instances that tradition also gives you way to discipline, because it is another way to gain validation, basically, an even bigger way to gain discipline. Kind of when the whole society validates what you're doing, and not only when one or two individuals, but rather, for example, when all the different generations that exist in the same time frame as you say that what you're doing is good, something like that. I guess I don't know. I guess yeah. I don't. Yeah, I don't think I can add that much more so far. What else? Yeah, no. I think that's it. I guess. Is it? I am trying to really not forget out anything else, but I dread doing so in the process. Mm, no, yeah, I think that's it. So I don't know. I really don't know. Um, let me see. Let me see, because I'm pretty sure there should be something more that I am still forgetting about, and that is what I kind of feel bad about, mostly because I really don't want to ignore stuff, and I don't want even remotely close to that to not mention what can be a necessary factor for all of this. But yeah, no, I think no. I think with this we're kind of fine, I guess. So, yeah, I don't know how much I have in. Let me check that. Okay, almost 2 hours. So, I would like to make it much longer, just in case. I mean, certainly. Yeah, certainly, sadly, I have to properly sleep. So, yeah, I have. What a sad thing it is to be responsible. Or what a worst thing is this, that in reality we don't have the tools to not have to worry about how much do we sleep or not. I don't know. Here it is. With this, I think, yeah, we are kind of done. I don't have that much more to add, I guess. I will say, but well, at the very least, it wasn't as unproductive as I thought it was going to be. So yeah, it is always very nice to be here, and it is very, more than anything else, also obviously very nice to exercise the brain. So yeah, I think we can carry the day. We can say that we enjoyed what we did, and we had a great time doing it. Also, well, yeah, I don't know. We did fine. We enjoyed what we did. Also, as I said, yeah, we might as well take this chance now, really, to rest, as it is kind of necessary as always, to hydrate, to properly do whatever else that we might want to do, and well, yeah, not that much more to add. As always, thanks for being here, thanks for watching, thanks for lurking, thanks for watching the world, thanks for everything, people. It is certainly a very nice thing to be here, and a very good opportunity to share all of this. Tomorrow, sadly, there is no stream, but I will try to compensate on Saturday. So yeah, as always, very nice. No, also, thank you for being here. Please, it is my pleasure to do this. So yeah, even better if it was something that you enjoyed. So yes, thanks for everything. I guess yeah. Sadly, I will have to do my proper resting now. So yes, goodbye everybody. I think we can't right. We have the numbers. We have okay. No wait. I wasn't going to do it, but I just saw now. Yes, now we are condemned to raid someone. Haha. Ha. This is so sad. You are condemned to raid. Let me go over here. And I am with my phone, so I can't watch the raid. But we're going to raid somebody. That is Blue Whistle, aka Chin Machin. So, as I said, thanks for being here, thanks for watching, thanks for lurking, thanks for everything. Please remember to stay safe, remember to stay nice, remember to stay hopeful, remember to find ways to keep yourself motivated, no matter whatever it is that you're doing. And well, now, we're going to leave, we're going to take a break. Whenever we can, we're going to be back here, and if we can't, at the very least, we'll show you what we did right now. But anyways, thanks for everything. Yeah, as I said before, we're going to read who Blue Whistle doing art. So thanks everybody and goodbye. Raid. Yes? Are we ready? Yeah.